Hi, welcome to our episode of Smarter Marketing. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're going to look at Google Local Services Advertising. In this episode of our Google Services series, we're going to explore how you can harness the incredible power of Google Local Services Advertising to boost your business. Google Local Services ads have become an essential tool for businesses looking to attract local customers. They're a fantastic way to increase your online visibility and connect with potential clients when they're searching for your services. We're going to cover things that you need to know about these ads and how you can make the most of them. So, really, the question is, what are they and how do they work? It's a special type of advertising offered by Google that's going to help your service based business, like a plumber, electrician, locksmith, connect with customers in the local area. Because it's a local business serving local customers, we don't want to advertise across the country or even across the state if it's not applicable. If it's something that you travel to your customers' locations, or if they have to come to your business and it is within a specific region, this is really the best option for what you're doing so that way you can get local business. They appear at the top of Google search result pages, so showcasing your business to those potential clients who are searching. So now that we know what they are, let's talk about how they work. Google Local Services ads are based on the principle of pay per lead, which means that you pay for the potential customer contacts when they directly contact you through that ad. It's an effective way to ensure that you're getting value for your advertising budget. That means that just because they see your ad or it happens to pop up when they're looking for your products and services, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are getting charged to show up for impressions. Impressions will show up 10, 100 times more than the amount of leads that you have. But in this pay per lead model, you pay for the customers who intend to buy from you. To make the most of those ads, it's really important that we talk about optimizing. Make sure that you complete your Google business profile. Fill out all the details. You don't want to waste a lead. If your hours are different, if your phone number has changed, once you set it up, make sure you go back and you constantly check that it's current, accurate, and that nothing is missing. And that also includes the services that you offer and the service areas. And from there, you'll also be able to see your reviews. Next, you'll want to set up your budget and make sure that your budget aligns with your sales goals. So, the cost per lead will determine how much you spend in advertising. Not all of them are going to buy from you. So, it's really important that you have a conversation with your team to know how much it costs you to get a new lead. And once you get the lead, make sure that you don't waste that lead. Contact them and follow up immediately. Have a process in place to track leads and understand what part of the buying journey they're in. If it's an impulse buy, if it's something that they need more information, if you need to reach out or meet with them in person. It is important to note where they are in that process, and how you can be more efficient and effective will help you reduce the cost of getting a new client as well. So that's for another sales podcast. When you do set up your ads, make sure that you're using high quality images because visuals really matter in this. You only have a couple of seconds to have them formulate a decision. So make sure it's clear, appealing images of what you're doing, your product or your services. And then regularly check those performances to make adjustments if the picture isn't quite right or you're asking too many questions in the lead form. Think about what's really important and what helps them to convert. Again, make sure that you fill out all of those details in your business and that your budget makes sense and the images are valuable let's take a second to think about that budget again. If you're in a highly competitive market and there are a lot of competitors in your area, I want you to consider the advertising budget that you've decided on. A lot of people have a misconception that advertising has to be expensive, but it's actually an investment in your sales. And I want you to think about doing some search. One of the other podcasts that we've created was talking about advertising budgets. Go ahead and look at that if you need more help in the area. But the idea of your advertising budget is to know what people are searching for and how you can be competitive for that keyword. So if your keyword or your keyword phrase happens to be um, locksmith near me and there are 7 other locksmiths in your area, chances are you're going to be competitive and the price is going to go up for the advertising budget. If no other locksmiths happen to be in your area, then your cost to advertise is going to be low because you're not competing with anybody else. So do a search and see how many people are looking for locksmith in your area, how many competitors, and are they advertising? You can just go to the Google search page and see who shows up in the sponsored search results. And then when you set your budget, it will tell you if your budget is too low. And the reason it'll come up too low is that somebody else is already out there with a budget. And in order to be competitive and show up before their advertisements show up, you'll need to rank a little bit higher on the price per lead that you're willing to pay. If there's another service that you offer and there isn't any competition necessarily in that keyword phrase, you can do some options to come up with a lower budget if that's important to you, and then sell your locksmith services to that person using another key phrase. That's just some extra tips for ad services and ad budgets. The next thing I want to talk about are the reviews. The reviews are going to show up with your Google Business profile, and if you can get 5-star reviews, it's a really, really valid tool to help people make that decision. So in addition to your advertising, the sponsored section that shows up in the search result, your business snippets, which we've also talked about in another podcast, I'll encourage you to check those out. That's the text that shows up in the search engine result page, and the reviews as well. So if you're showing up with 1,572 5-star reviews, regardless of whether you're advertising or not, most people are going to look at that and carry that with a level of importance when they make their decision. Positive reviews are going to significantly increase your credibility and help you to get more customers. If you can encourage your customers to leave reviews for you, then that's also going to help your business, because if you do that on a regular basis, you'll get a constant flow of 5-star reviews. If I were to look at your reviews and it would say last October in 22, then there were 15 new 5-star reviews. It would sound like it was stacked and then nothing happened after that. So you put one effort in for one day, there's a bunch of reviews on that day, and then nothing since then. Sounds kind of fishy. So I would want you to come up with a review plan. And that can include things like sending out an email after your customers have received your product or service, asking them and send a link directly to your review page on Google. And when you go into your Google Business Manager, if you don't know where that is, on the left-hand side in the main area when you're in the business editor, there are menu options. And typically there are 2 or 3 rows of content where you can edit things about your business, and reviews are over there. When you click on that, you'll see the reviews link. And then once you get that reviews link, you can include that on social media post. You can include that in an email, text it out to customers if you use texting as a part of your marketing channels, and then encourage them to do that right away. That way it's fresh, and next week you'll have a new set of customers and you'll ask them and you'll have some more fresh content on your reviews section every week. And I do want to encourage you to respond to all reviews that you get. If you are engaged and people see that you're out thanking customers for their positive reviews, talking about the interaction with that customer, if you know it, if you remember it, and then um, also take the opportunity to engage with negative reviews as well, because a lot of people will go search for the one-star review first and see what's wrong with this product. Why wouldn't I want to? If it's something that's silly or bogus, or you can definitely tell it's fake, and the business owner has replied promptly and with manners and respect, then that earns a lot more credibility. If there's a whole list of product problems or features that people are complaining about, I would encourage you to take a long, hard look at those reviews. If you haven't seen your own negative reviews, and spend some time to clean that up and make changes in the business or product, if that's something that is important and people are sharing with you, take that information to heart and use that to your advantage. There are other Google services available to you, and I want to take a moment just to introduce them to you so that way you can help make good business decisions and you can start planning for your future and changes if necessary. So, the first one we just talked about was your Google Business Profile. That puts you on the map, especially if you're a local service. It's very important that you're on the map. If you don't have a physical location, let's say you operate out of your home or you have a post office box and there's not a address to place on the map. You can still get on the maps and change your service area to 10 local communities around you. So if you have a mobile truck, for example, and you travel to customers' locations, then I want you to change that maps feature to there's a check mark that'll say that people don't travel to you, you travel to them, and then you'll write in nearby cities. So that way when somebody's looking for their near me, Google automatically knows where they are because of their search feature in their device. And if they were looking for the locksmith to travel to their business to unlock the car because while they were at work, they realized their keys were in their car and they happen to be in your area, your ads will show up. So that will include the maps and search. And then Google advertising, which is what today's topic is about, is advertising within that Google network. So your ads will pop up now on maps and search results and within the Google network of where they create ads on display. And then analytics, that's analytics.google.com. If you have a website, I would encourage you to install analytics and get a report that says how often people are coming to your website, if they're coming in from your advertising. This is your way to track and measure your ads to make sure if you're not running Google Local Services ads for leads, that anything that you have running, Facebook posts, Instagram, LinkedIn ads, any of those, or even especially Google search results that are organic, that they just typed it in and clicked and went to your website. Those are all very important metrics and KPIs, key performance indicators, showing that what you're doing is working and what areas need improvement. And then talking about the campaigns that you're creating for your local service ads, it's very important that anytime you have advertising dollars going out, that you check that daily. And the reason I want you to check that every day is to maintain that your ads dollars are being spent in the budget that you've created for them. There is an opportunity, and I will tell you this, and I'll tell you in any advertising podcast that we do, make sure you set the maximum amount. It is very critical for you to set that maximum billing threshold. I don't think that we're going to be having this podcast talking to anybody that's going to have $100,000 monthly budgets. So, knowing that we have a limited advertising budget, this is an opportunity for you to protect yourself, to make sure that you don't wake up one day and then get billed $800 for an ad campaign because you weren't paying attention. So, check it daily, make sure that the budget is not being spent ineffectively, meaning you just set your budget, but nothing has come out of that, you need to pause that campaign, start a new campaign, reset your budget. The next thing that I tell people, and I say it over and over again, if you end up in a coma and you wake up from your coma, your advertising budget will pause if you've hit your maximum threshold. So what I do is I tell it at $100, maximum $100. I want you to pause and bill me in $100 increments. And you're going to know what your maximum budget is going to be because it's going to be a part of what you've got in place already. So if you say my advertising budget is going to be $100 a month, let's spread it out over all of my ads. That is fine. Whatever your budget is, set that threshold so that way you're alerted and know exactly what's happening within your expenses. The other thing that you want to check it on daily is your optimization. It'll give you an optimization score that says you are not doing so well in these keywords. This ad is really doing well and serving people. Maybe you want to pause one ad and send that budget over to the other ad, the one that's doing well. And if you have a small budget, that's okay. What you'll get is a notification that says that you can reach more people if you do increase your budget. So if there's an ad that's not working, your ads can be more effective if you move your money around, basically. Now, this doesn't mean that this has to be a full time job. You can check this on your phone if you install the Ads Manager from Google. Look at it, see what's happening, get an idea, take 5 minutes to check on it, and then you're done for the day once your ads are set up. Now let's talk about making the most out of your ads. So you're in the ads manager and you're creating an ad and a campaign. So you'll start at the campaign level and then you'll create ads inside that campaign. Be very specific. We want to make sure that your call to action and your information in the ads is not general. If you speak generalities to everyone that has a pulse, it's not going to resonate with anyone. So if you can be specific and talk to a specific audience, and we've done that in the past where we've created audience personas. I would encourage you to learn about audience personas and what makes them want to buy your product. What is the call to action that drives that emotional connection to your business? Be specific and be very specific about the services and products that you're selling. If possible, create one ad for one product and another ad for another service rather than just branding advertising. Now, branding is important and it has its place, but right now, this discussion today is about a call to action and driving traffic and a opportunity for them to buy from you. That's what this one's about, not the branding and general information or just generic marketing. So be specific, change your targeted locations. It'll typically default to the country. You can eliminate that, go down and narrow it to your area. Preferably in this situation, it would be those 10 communities that you have installed in your Google Maps profile. If it's your city and a neighboring suburb and some other regional counties, that those 10 would be your target. So, for example, if you're in Morristown, New Jersey, we're going to change that from the United States and we're going to change that from New Jersey as a state, but drilling down specifically into Morristown, New Jersey, and then grabbing the counties or cities that are nearby, depending on how long it takes for somebody to get to your location. And then those ads will run more frequently and show more often to people in that area, creating a lasting impact because they'll have that repetitive ad to say, oh, I remember seeing them. And they'll have that ad recollection when it's time for them to buy. So I do want you to think about how often people are going to buy from you. The important thing to note here is in real estate, for example, if I'm buying a house, chances are I'm only going to need to see that one time, buy the house, and then your real estate company then is not really important or relevant to me after that. If it's something that I need on a repeat basis, typically a smaller purchase amount, then repeat ads are fabulous because it's really about recollection and then that brand recognition. And then when I need your services, your ad's going to pop up at the time that I really need it. And then take advantage of what sets you apart, those USPs, your unique selling proposition, the thing that sets you apart from the competition, something that the others don't have. Include that in your ads, the reason that it's going to be important for me to buy from you as opposed to your competition. And listing them in the ads helps set you apart. As we know, Google is continually evolving. That's kind of what they do to make themselves better and more relatable to what our community needs, the people who are using Google services. So they're always evolving. Keep up to date with the trends and tools. That's going to be important for you as an advertiser and also you as a business entrepreneur to continually grow. So knowing what's available to you helps you to think and position your planning to what's valuable to your consumers as well. If you didn't think about it this way, your consumers are using Google to find your business. And if you're not taking advantage of your map listing, if you're not taking advantage of your Google listing, Google tries its best to serve your customers with information. That's what Google does. It is really to your benefit to take advantage of those new features that Google has to offer and take the time to invest in your training, learn what's coming out, get those emails and read them. Google is really good about communicating up on their upcoming trends and changes to their services. And it's really in our best interest to do that. But more importantly, consumers are using it. And their job is to, Google's job is to make it easy for consumers to find the right information when they're looking. And there you have it. This is chock full of information about Google local businesses and the advertising and how you can communicate. And don't hesitate to get started. Set your budget small if you want to get started with a small amount while you're learning. And remember, monitor and optimize those ads. Stay tuned to the next episode. We're going to talk about Google search results. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, website. We're on all the social channels. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast, and hopefully, we'll see you next time.